Hi, this is Tech with Costa, and I'm sharing my engineering journey. Let's open VS Code from project folder by running this. Okay, let's run this. Okay. And now I want to test the integration that I've just created with VS Code plus Python/Miniconda, right? And for that, I want to create a Python file. I can do that in two ways. I can go here, add a new file. I could also create a new folder and so on, but I could write script.py for Python extension, and then I would hit enter and the file would be created. I will hit escape to quit this. I can also, from this folder, I can also run code script.py to create the file automatically. And then I save the file with Ctrl S, and it already tells me that I should install a Python extension, and I do want to do that, so install. If this doesn't prompt, just go again to extensions, search for Python, and install Python by Microsoft. Install the extension, that's it. Associate the correct Python interpreter on VS Code. Click the Python interpreter tab on the bottom right corner or Ctrl-Shift-P and select Python select interpreter. Choose the environment you've just created. Refresh the terminals inside VS Code. Okay, so what I want to do now is to close this extension thing. I have a script.py, right? And now, since this is a Python file, VS Code already identifies that this needs to be run by Python, right? And since we installed the extension, I can see Python here, so this is the language I'm using. And I can see the interpreter associated with VS Code now. If I click here, I can specify a specific interpreter or Python installation that I want to use. And of course, for this specific project, in this specific repository or folder, I want to use the environment I created. So I want to select the LLM ZoomCam 2024 ENV. I select this one. And now it tells me I need to, a warning, I need to refresh the terminal. So I close the terminal, Control Cedilha to reopen the terminal. And since I specified the interpreter here, Conda, now the environment is already activated by default on the terminals I create within VS Code. If I open Bash, the same thing happens, okay? This is good. So from now on, whenever you open the project on VS Code, this Conda environment will be activated in the terminal and the interpreter correctly selected. You can select the interpreter here, okay? But you can also hit Ctrl-Shift-P and search for interpreter and then Python select interpreter, and it's just the same thing. So whenever we install packages via the terminal, ensuring the correct environment is activated, the packages will be isolated into it, avoiding corruption of other projects. So if I want to install a specific package for this project, I need to make sure in the terminal that I have this environment activated. And then I can run, for example, pip install pandas, enter, and then it would install pandas inside this environment, okay? Without messing other projects up. Okay, cool. Then we need to restart VS Code and validate the activated environment and selected interpreter. You might need to do this a couple of times to save the setup. So now just close the VS Code instance, run this again, and even after restarting the computer, if you do this, it should appear the right interpreter here and the correct terminal Conda environment activated here. So do this a couple of times and it should do it properly. Just make sure if you open the project, you have the correct interpreter selected here, if you are working with Python, of course. Then, Python Manager workflow. For each project inside the Git folder that require Python, I create a specific Conda environment to ensure package isolation. Then I associate each VS Code instance to each project /Conda environment /interpreter. Good luck. Peace.